Welcome everyone, Sierra Nova again, and today we're going to get into the truth about our favorite MCs. We're going to be looking at Goku, Naruto, and Luffy and determining who's the best out of the three based on certain categories and what they accomplished. This isn't necessarily about who's the strongest, but certain traits that may have helped them progress. Unfortunately, Ichigo will not be in this ranking because I'm in the middle of rewatching Bleach as we speak, and I really don't remember that much to put him in this ranking. Now if I had to rank these MCs, I'd put Luffy first, Naruto second, and Goku last overall, and let's start explaining why. First things first, let's start off with something easy and look at goals. Luffy's goal is to become the Pirate King, and even though he hasn't quite accomplished that yet, we see that Luffy is making obvious strides to do so. And naturally, it's not going to be something that happens overnight because it is a tall order, it is a tall goal. Then we have Naruto. Naruto's goal was to become Hokage ever since he was a kid, and he finally accomplished that as an adult. That wasn't something that happened overnight either. Now, let's look at Goku. What goals does Goku have? Or rather, what impactful and inspiring goal does he have as an MC? I'm for sure willing to be corrected on this, and I'm open to hearing someone else's thoughts, but I don't remember Goku establishing a clear-cut goal like Naruto and Luffy has. In all fairness, I'd say that this category should probably go to Naruto over Luffy and Goku because Naruto has actually achieved his goal while Luffy is still a work in progress. Secondly, let's look at inspiration.
I was his enemy, yet still he cried for me. And he called me his friend, even though we had battled. He saved me. We were on different sides, but we were both Jinchuriki.
How do these characters inspire not only their own circle, but others as well? What impact do they have on others? Obviously, Goku is going to take the L on this one too, and again, this is going to be between Naruto and Luffy. Let's start with Luffy. Luffy has a lot of allies on his side because he's touched and helped a lot of people throughout his journey. Not only has he inspired his own crew and they all look up to him and support him, but Luffy has also touched others like Bon Clay, Boy Hancock, the Whitebeard Pirates, BV, Jimby. It is no secret at all that Luffy has touched a lot of hearts and he'll go out of his way to help others every single time. We've seen this countless times throughout certain arcs such as Alabasta, Water 7, Dressrosa, and the Wano arc. Luffy will take care of his own for sure, and he'll take care of others. Luffy could have easily gone about his way when he went to Dressrosa and only looked out for his crew, but Luffy will genuinely help everyone and anyone that's willing to help themselves. Now let's look at Naruto. Naruto eventually touched Sasuke's heart, he touched Zabuza's and Haku's heart, he reached Gaara, got through to the Kyuubi, and eventually got through to Obito. Like Luffy, Naruto has several instances or more where he has reached other people. Not only that, Naruto has the other great nations on his side, and all of the tailed beasts on good standing with him. It's painfully clear that Naruto has made an impact, just like Luffy. Lastly, we have Goku. Now I'm not gonna lie, Goku has touched those within his inner circle, sure, like Piccolo, Tien, and so forth, but that's as far as it goes. Just his inner circle and we see nothing else. Sure, Goku has had an impact, I won't discredit him completely, but I think it's very fair to say that Luffy and Naruto both outshine Goku on this one. Goku doesn't have the 5 great nations backing him. Goku doesn't have a pirate empress, an army of pirates backing him, and so forth and so on. And he hasn't really accomplished much outside of straight power. In conclusion, it's a really close tie between Luffy and Naruto, but I'd have to give this one to Luffy because not only did he touch different people, but Luffy touched many hearts of people that were of different statuses, races, and species as well. Like, it genuinely feels like Luffy is literally bringing the world together in a sense. Naruto is mostly doing things not for the entire world, but only concerning the 5 great nations, and that's why he loses this. Now for our next category, let's look at vulnerability, reliability, and the usage of side characters. So let's start with Luffy. Luffy definitely has vulnerability. For one, all Devil Fruit users are useless in the sea. Luffy isn't exempt from that. We have also seen Luffy experience hurt plenty of times. The time he thought he lost Sabo, the time he lost Ace, the time he thought he lost his crew members. We also know that Luffy has not won every fight off the bat. He lost to Crocodile a few times before he finally beat him, and Luffy was never able to beat Magellan. As far as reliability goes, I really think this goes to Luffy because he's not too relied on to where it's predictable, but it's balanced enough because you get super important usage out of side characters as well. Boy Hancock helped Luffy get into Impel Down, Bon Clay helped Luffy inside Impel Down, Jimby and the Okama leader helped Luffy get the ace, Law is a side character but is playing a major role, and even the samurai and the mink tribes are playing important roles as well. The best part about it is that it's probably not a one and done. These characters have a high probability of being used again and maintaining their relevance. And I like this because these side characters are just as important as the MC at times, and it really shows. Next up, let's look at Naruto. Naruto has vulnerability for sure. He's not perceived as bulletproof, and we've seen Naruto hurt plenty of times, especially with Jiraiya, with Sasuke, and even Kurama. We've seen that vulnerable side of Naruto, so we know that he can be affected. As far as reliability, Naruto is doing fairly well. Like, even though Naruto is still put on a pedestal to an extent, everyone else can still play a role. We saw this in the war with the Shinobi Alliance, and when they came together, Naruto played a major role, but he didn't do it alone. Lastly, with the side characters, they all played a major and clear role in Naruto, but in Naruto Shippuden, it more so focused on Naruto, which is okay because I can understand it. Naruto is the MC at the end of the day, and it does have that balance at least. I mean, it could have done a bit better with the side characters, but it's not drastically lacking. Like, even in Boruto, we see that Ino plays a crucial role in security of the village, Sakura plays a role at the hospital, Konohamaru and Hanabi are senseis, Shikamaru is an advisor, while Sasuke is more or less in the shadows. Everyone still kind of has some relevance basically, and that's what I like about it. Lastly, we have Goku. Again, Goku drops the ball on this one. To put it simply, Goku is always going to save the day, and it's pretty much set up so that even the side characters are kind of useless unless Goku pretty much says otherwise. Goku and Vegeta aren't even true rivals, and this is a prime example when even the rival can have a breakthrough. If even Vegeta can't have a breakthrough and he's a supposed rival, then that leaves no hope for the side characters. In conclusion, Goku has no vulnerability, he has all of the reliability, and the side characters are just there for support basically. Again, Naruto is a close second, but we're giving it to Luffy. Alright, so let's get into our final category for now, which is backstory. Since this one was a bit harder for me, I put this one last. This is a bit tough and it didn't come as easily as the other categories did for me. Anyway, we discussed a few things that I believe that are important for an MC to have, and I believe backstory is just as important because not only does it influence you and can mold you into what you become, but it also plays a role in if you can relate to others as well, as far as empathy and sympathy and so forth. So again, let's start with Luffy. What we know currently about Luffy's background is that Luffy was born in Fuchsia Village, and we know that Luffy has pretty insane family members, like they're pretty powerful and notable. Luffy's dad is Monkey D. Dragon, and we don't really know about his mother yet, but we do know about Garp, which is his grandfather that's in the Marines, and we know that Garp raised him and Ace together. Of course, we can't forget about the Mountain Bandits because they did play a role as well, and eventually Sabo came into the picture as a friend for both Ace and Luffy, and later those three became brothers. We also know that Luffy hung around pirates, specifically the red hair pirates and Shanks. This is probably one of the main reasons he wanted to become a pirate in the first place, and we eventually see him set off to collect his crew and find One Piece. In my opinion, Luffy's backstory is pretty good and I think it definitely has substance. But let's dive into Naruto's and Goku's before I make my final decision. So let's go ahead and dive into Naruto. As far as Naruto, Naruto lost things at a fairly young age, like immediately right after he was born. He lost his parents, Kushina Uzumaki and Minato, and he had the Kyuubi, a tailed beast with 9 tails and massive chakra sealed into him. The Kyuubi is literally a demon fox. And because of becoming a Jinchuriki, a host for the tailed beast basically, Naruto was treated as an outcast and he was shunned for this, which I always found a bit weird. Like, Jinchurikis have existed for a while, and it's not like Naruto was the first Jinchuriki of the Leaf. Everyone knew this, and that was basically done to make individual nations powerful as a whole. And if you're not gonna do it, why make it harder for the people that are more compatible to do it and is benefiting the village at least? Anyway, Naruto's an outcast and he's shunned, and he eventually develops the goal to become the Hokage. Naruto's backstory is why he is able to reach other Jinchuriki, because he went through that hardship himself and he can use it and apply it to reach people's hearts. Okay, so finally, let's look at Goku. Goku's been having a hard time with me in this video, and it looks kind of crazy, not gonna lie. But I'm trying my best not to be biased, and I'm trying my best to support why I feel the way I do as much as possible. As far as backstory goes, I would definitely say that Goku does have an interesting backstory, considering he's not human like the other two, first and foremost. He's literally from out of this world, and he's a Saiyan. Goku belongs to a warrior race, and I've always loved that concept. Goku's home, like all of the other Saiyans before they went extinct, happens to be planet Vegeta. Unlike Vegeta though, Goku didn't get to spend much time on planet Vegeta and was basically stuffed into a pod and sent away for his protection by his parents. Now for the longest time, just like Luffy, we didn't know about Goku's mother, but it was recently revealed to us about Goku's mother and we saw that in the latest movie. I think it was the Broly movie that came out, I'm not sure. Anyway, after infant Goku was sent off, Goku landed on a planet called Earth and Grandpa Gohan started raising him. There were claims that Goku was a hard baby to deal with until he fell and bumped his head and became more tolerable and sweet. Skip forward a bit, he loses his grandpa and eventually meets Bulma and many others. I will say I do like how the Saiyans weren't a one and done thing, like how we know he was born a Saiyan, but then we see him encounter other Saiyans like Raditz, Vegeta, and Nappa. Goku even has 2 half Saiyans of his own, and Vegeta has 2 half Saiyans of his own as well. So I like that the Saiyans are still around. In conclusion, like in terms of strictly backstory and who has the more interesting or better backstory alone, I think this is between Goku and Naruto on this one. Luffy's backstory is definitely not boring, but Luffy had a pretty normal childhood besides eating a devil fruit compared to Naruto, and I'd say even Goku as well. I will say that Goku and Luffy were raised by their grandfathers, and that is a bit similar, but Goku being out of this world and of a different race is pretty interesting. Like I think that's what made this section so hard because I see a lot of potential behind the Saiyan warrior race, but between Goku and Naruto on backstory alone, I would say that Goku is a close second, but Naruto takes the W on this one. The reason I would choose Luffy as a great MC out of all 3 and overall is because he has more of a global impact compared to Naruto's local impact with just mainly the 5 great nations, and Luffy hasn't won every fight. The side characters are just as important as him at times. Like Luffy is very well balanced, and I like that he has clear weaknesses such as the devil fruit, and we see Luffy critically assess enemies like fighting Crocodile and so forth. Like it's not as predictable as Talk no Jutsu, and it's not as predictable as Goku saving the day all the time. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. I tried my best to be fair and really break things down as far as how I think and what I feel like are good traits in the MC. Let me know if you feel like I missed something important or if you simply disagree and why. Thank you for tuning in. Sierra Nova is out.